what's up guys? How we doing? Happy 2020. I know it's been a long time since I made a video. In fact, I only made 2 videos in 2019. I do apologize about that. 2019 was a very busy year for me, especially when it came to work. But trust me, every week that went by, I kept telling myself I wanted to make a video for you guys, and now I'm finally gonna make one here and do my best of 2019. Now last year I did my top 15 of the year, and this time I'm gonna do the same thing, except I'm also going to include a few honorable mentions. These are 5 films that while they didn't crack my top 15 and they didn't win any particular best genre award, I do feel like they all stood out for one particular reason, and I had a blast with each one of them. Alita Battle Angel was a very fun action cyberpunk anime adaptation, and I felt it did a lot better than people were thinking it would. It cost a lot of money to make, but I really hope we do get a sequel, and I can't wait to see this one again on 4K. Ready or Not was one of my favorite horror comedies of the year. I love Samara Weaving, and she finally got a major release through a very well-known studio. This film was an absolute blast and one of the best times I've had in the theater with my friends. Don't sleep on it, definitely check it out. Dragon Ball Super Broly was one of the most intense and hype films that came out in 2019. It did far better than people expected it to perform, and of the dozens of Dragon Ball films that are out there, this one has to be the best in my opinion. And it's also serviceable for newcomers to the franchise. Fighting with My Family was a big surprise for me this year. I did not think this film was going to be as good as it ended up being. While I grew up being really interested in wrestling, this film brought me right back to that special place when I was a kid. And Florence Pugh does an amazing job in this role as Paige. A very funny film that will have something for everyone. And the last of my honorable mentions has to be Midsommar, the second feature film from Ari Aster, who is behind Hereditary. This was hands down the most bizarre and disturbing film I saw this year, but I cannot stop thinking about it. I really want to see a director's cut. It was filled with great performances, especially from Miss Florence Pugh again. Okay, here we go. Now we're on to my top 15 of the year and best genre awards. Without further ado, let's get started. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. I will say, going into this film, I wasn't the biggest fan of Elton John, but now I really like his music, and Taron Egerton deserves as many Best Actor awards that he can achieve. This film was highly entertaining, great costumes, and I remember thinking as soon as I saw it that it was one of, if not my top films of the year at the time. Speaking of great acting performances, my gosh, Joaquin Phoenix, what the heck was that? He completely takes over this film and this role, and giving Heath Ledger a run for his money as best performance as Joker. While it is a bit of a downer, I cannot overlook just how well made this film is, and I had to include it on this list.
You think you can take John Wick?
I've always enjoyed the John Wick films, and I gotta say this one might be my favorite. There's a lot of surprises in this one that made it stand out compared to the other 2. But perhaps because this is also the first one I got to see in theaters, I have a little bit of a different connection to it. It knows exactly what it wants to be, and it delivers on that very well. Okay, I could not stop talking about this film, and I will not stop talking about it until more of you have seen it. The colors pop off the screen, the unique animation style, the action sequences, the comedy, the story. This film really does have it all, and I will be very bummed if many of you don't go out and see it when it comes out on Blu-ray and streaming. The performances, especially from Lupita Nyong'o, she deserves more recognition for this job she did. The musical score is unforgettable, and even though you can pick apart some of the logical aspects, you can't deny that the idea here was really cool, and there's a lot of great things that are going to be coming from Jordan Peele in the future. I enjoyed this film so much the first time, I went back and saw it a second time in theaters. It is one of the most hilarious films to come out this year. While there is the obvious comparisons to films like Superbad, the way this film is shot and the smart humor and great soundtrack really make it stand out, and it's one that I can see myself watching several times over and over. To San Francisco. This film took me completely by surprise. I had no idea what type of movie it was going into it, other than some aspects having to deal with gentrification in the themes. I really highly enjoyed this film. The music, the way it was shot, the actual color in the film is gorgeous. This was a great directorial debut, and I can't wait to see more from this filmmaker. Quentin Tarantino was at it again, and I just really enjoyed this film. I did not know a lot about the backstory before going to see it, but after I saw it a second time and had already read up on things by then, I actually enjoyed it even more. And I really appreciated the older feel of having been in a movie of a different era. It looks, feels, and sounds like something from back then. Alright, what can I say? This is the culmination of everything Marvel has done for the past 10 years. They blew it out of the park, full of drama, great action, and surprises. It's going to be very interesting to see how the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe plays out going forward.
You've got a friend in me.
I agree that this film was not necessary, but I do feel that it was a worthy addition and a very well made film. There's definitely a level of nostalgia here that makes me love these characters, but the animation quality is so realistic looking at this point. It is simply incredible how Pixar just continues to push things every single year.
Come, healing of the spirit.
Let's talk about Awkwafina. She kills it in this role as a woman who is trying not to tell her grandmother that she has cancer. I really love the themes they present in this film when they focus on people that are born in China and then also raised in the United States. This is one of those films that really makes you think about life and all the people you know in it and what you would do in a similar situation. Adam Sandler, please keep doing movies like these. I heard people tell me that he does well when he's in a drama film, and the film itself is so entertaining, but also so hard to watch. You get so caught up in this character that keeps making bad mistake after bad mistake. It kept me on the edge of my seat with a lot of anxiety until the very end. This deals with a lot of difficult subjects, notably the process of a divorce. The performances by Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are absolutely fantastic. There's one particular scene where they're arguing that is just incredible. But this really gives you a good idea of what people go through to make sure their child can still see their parents. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci. I cannot deny the filmmaking, but I also really like the concept in that this is not based off a completely true story. And it makes me wonder after seeing it how things truly happened here. Make sure to set aside some time for this one. Be patient with it. It will deliver on all accounts. Okay, here we are. Number 1. Director Bong Joon-ho finally delivers his masterpiece. I love how this film blends different genres throughout the movie. It feels at one point like a comedy and then a thriller and then a drama. Colors just pop off the screen. The filmmaking and cinematography is incredible. And it feels like every single time I think about this movie again, I just keep solidifying that it is the best of the year. Stop what you're doing and make plans to see this movie when you get the opportunity. And of course, these films are diligent picks. While I took a long hiatus from filming any reviews, I definitely was watching plenty of movies. I'm hoping this year will be different and I'll be able to get back on some kind of a consistent schedule. Whether it's 1 to 3 videos a month or so, that's what I'm aiming for. But I'm definitely looking forward to coming back and making more videos in 2020. As always, my name is Dylan, and if you love entertainment, subscribe to my channel while the video ends and send me a thumbs up before you go. Thanks for watching and stay diligent.